Hello everybody, this is a little demo to show you how to go through your daily weather situational awareness tasks. First thing I do is I keep my checklist open on the right so that I know what I need to do. And just remember this one little tip, bookmark the heck out of everything so you don't have to go poking all around to find what you need to find. First thing I like to do is to read the daily weather summary, and that is on our American Meteorological Society real-time portal page. It's right at the top. So let's click on Fridays and see what it looks like. Give you a quick look at today's analysis chart overlaid onto a satellite image and gives you a general idea of what's going on across the country. Next task is to read the weekly weather and climate news. That's also on our AMS page, and it's right here. Let's look at the current week's news, and it gives you some items of interest and some news, what's going on in the country. Here's an example. Eye on the tropics. During last week, several tropical cyclones were detected in the South Indian Ocean and the Western Pacific, and you can look at what your colleagues have said about what's going on. Next is to read the supplemental information, and the supplemental information is also updated daily. It's also very interesting. The next is to familiarize yourself with the National Weather Service observations and forecasts for your location. So let's go to our location. We'll use Manassas, Virginia. And let's skip the forecast for right now. Whoops. And go right to the 3-day history right here. And here you can look at what's been going on over the last 36 hours. You can look at changes in sky condition, the changes in temperature, what precipitation we've had over the last 3 days. I like to look at how the winds have changed, whether they've gone calm overnight, whether they've backed around to the southeast, or moved to the north like this. Next is to look at the forecast for your location. You can look at the text forecast here, but we're going to go a little bit deeper into meteorology. We're going to use the actual graphical data. So you can actually see forecasted trends in temperature, forecasted trends in dew point, how we expect the winds to change over the next 36 hours, any predicted precipitation, and important is this forward 2 days button right here. Gives you the next 2 days, and so you can march out pretty far with this. And this is using the forecast for your location that have already been prepared. Remember, meteorology is a collaborative science, so there's nothing wrong with using your colleagues' work when you're making a forecast. Next is to look at that day's analysis chart and that day's forecast charts. So on your National Weather Service page, you click right here under Forecast and look at Graphical. And right here you'll see National Maps. And here there are charts loaded. When you see 12-hour, 24-hour, that's 12 hours from right now. And most of the time they're updated on time. And let's look at a typical chart. You can see when the chart was issued and when it's valid for. This is the most important date right here, when that chart is valid. If you see a chart that's valid in the past, you know that chart hasn't been updated. So 48-hour chart. So you can look at where the lows are, where the predicted fronts are. Remember, these are forecast charts, where the precipitation areas are. And this goes all the way out to day 6. Down here is some precipitation forecasts. So I go through all of these and have a look at everything. Here is a very important chart. This is zoom in on this. This is the analysis chart. This chart here, it shows the raw analysis before it's turned into graphical images. You can look at the temperatures at different locations, frontal locations. Next I go to looking at today's radar and satellite imagery. So let's go back to our first page. And the radar and satellite imagery is down here on the bottom. Let's open up another one because that one's not working. Radar and satellite imagery is down here, right next to each other. Radar image is showing clear and nothing really going on in the Virginia area, but we want to get a national look at things like this. So let's click on the national. And you see here's a graphic showing a combined image of all the Doppler radars in the United States. You can see precipitation in the Midwest, some down here on the Gulf Coast. And what's really cool is this full resolution version right here. And you can really zoom in on some of that precipitation. And the key thing about this chart is If you click on any location in here, it'll give you the local Doppler radar for that location. For example, this one's for Louisiana. I like the high resolution image. That's your radar imagery, and you can go through loops. It's a good tool. Right next to the radar image on the National Weather Service page is the link to the satellite data. And you can go in here and look at and this is today's satellite image right now. You can look at different enhancements, and you can even load loops of these images. So that's your basic on how to go through your daily checklist and keep in tune with the weather conditions in the past, how they flowed into the present, and get yourself ready to start making your own forecast. I do these things every morning before I go to work. I do that before I come to class. And I tossed in here also on your checklist is to work through that week's text chapter. So you'll get in the habit of checking the weather, checking the past, checking the forecasts, and then working on your chapter. If you do this, you'll be ready to make your forecast. You'll also keep in tune with what's going on in the class.